Hi guys, hi, I'm back again. आज हम हैं डॉक्टर लेनी कोस्टा के साथ and he's a MBBS, DGM, FCMT, FCCP and a very high qualified doctor and मैं आज उनसे बात करना चाहती थी कोरोना के बारे में, कोरोना की वैक्सीनेशन साइड इफेक्ट्स, जिनके बाल झड़ रहे हैं, जिनके जॉइंट्स में पेन हो रहा है या फिर so let me see if doctor is there. Not yet. Yeah. Hi Anu. So I'm not able. Don't worry, guys. हमें 5 minutes और लगेंगे. I'm trying to create a broadcast with doctor, but somehow not able to. So yeah, but this is a very very important doctor, and he's waiting for me. Somehow this software is not letting him come. Let me do a WhatsApp call. Where's my phone? I don't see.
Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
Is it now? Can you hear me?
Now. Yeah.
Okay, great. Welcome to the show. Sorry about the inconvenience.
Not at all. Not at all.
So doctor, I was just telling that last time I contacted you was because of this confusion that my mother during the corona, she had no symptoms, but her inflammatory markers in the reports were very high, even 6 months post corona. Can you tell us in general that corona or vaccination, what it has done to our body?
Okay, so Palak, let me start with explaining to you what the virus or the vaccine does as far as the pathology goes. Now, the vaccine or the virus has got what is known as the spike protein or the crown protein, whatever you want to call it. The spike protein, when you got corona, would enter your body, and the spike protein had 5 areas that it would hit out at. That those were the 5 areas that we got affected. Whether when we had corona, so what you saw when you had the COVID infection was an immune reaction of your body, where the body would fight the virus, right? And so people would die because of an exaggerated response. Now, what did the so after that was over, you got over that initial infection. The spike protein remains in your body. It doesn't go anywhere. So also when you give a vaccination, what are they doing with the vaccination? They're putting the spike protein in you. So initially they had thought that the spike protein, if it is put on your deltoid here, it would remain and create a local uh, immune reaction that would create the antibodies in your body, which most vaccines do. In this case, they did not know that the spike protein would spread to the whole body. Now, with the vaccine, the spike protein spreads to the whole body the very same way COVID infection affects your body. Now, when the spike protein is in your body, it affects 5 areas. It affects your gut, so it causes all gut dysbiosis. It causes all gut issues. Second, it affects your thyroid gland. So the moment it affects your thyroid gland, even if you're mildly hypothyroid, that goes up, your hypothyroidism becomes very bad, and you start having severe hair loss. Then it affects your parathyroid hormone. So autoimmune disorders are high. Then it affects, and your gut also affects, gives rise to autoimmune disorders. Then it affects your iron metabolism. And so you have patients who come to us with high ferritin levels. Now, high ferritin levels is going to cause huge amount of inflammation in your body. It also destroys your liver. So we have a lot of patients who come with it. And I've never seen in 20 years of my practice anybody coming with such high ferritin levels. I've had patient coming to with me with ferritin levels of 3,000, and we were wondering
Wow.
how he survived. Right?
Oh.
We made him survive, and he's out of it. His ferritin levels have come down to under 100 or around 100. But that took us about 5 weeks. And then the last thing it affects is your calcium metabolism. So if you are somebody who has got calcium and parathyroid being affected, you're going to have a whole lot of problems with your bones, especially if you are in the age group, you have just postmenopausal or perimenopausal, you're going to be having a lot of weakness. Uh, Besides that, it generally gives you severe fatigue, exactly the same way you would get when you had a COVID infection. And that fatigue doesn't go away. So I have been seeing this for the last 1.5 year, and these days it's worse. Why is it worse? Because I'm seeing cancer patients who were perfectly all right post their chemo, post their radio, whatever treatments they did. No cancer for 5, 6 years. Taken the booster shot or taken the second dose of the vaccine, immediately you have metastasis full blown. In the last 1 week, I had 7 cases, not one and two. And so it is sad when you see this thing. So I really don't know what to say.
Yes, yes.
I was just
So
talking to my own
I was,
physician. My voice is a mess. And he just told me, the ENT surgeon was a very close friend of mine. He says he's getting patients who had the Delta. I had the Delta in 2020, who are coming with this voice problem. No problem with the vocal cords. Nothing found. Even
oh,
if you do a biopsy, it's just there's a swelling, just an inflammation of the vocal cords. I am having this problem. I don't have a pain. I don't have anything, but I just my voice has kind of sunk.
so you took vaccination shots, right?
I didn't. I had
Okay.
COVID. Because I
Yeah,
had COVID, I didn't have the reason to take it.
the reason to take it. Okay. So what is more bad, COVID or vaccination?
So
Both the mechanism is same.
I wouldn't say either of them is bad. I'm just saying that both of them give you the same problem. The problem that the problem that happens is the spike protein enters your body. The moment your spike protein enters your body, it causes problems that you don't want and problems that doctors have not seen before.
Yeah.
And so they don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, you're right. So when I called you regarding my mother's inflammatory markers were very high, so you put her to 2 years of melatonin. Why melatonin helps?
So let me explain this to you, Palak. Melatonin is one of those hormones in our body, together with the growth hormone, that repairs your body in the night. See, if you go to sleep by latest by 10:30, 11:30, your pineal gland starts secreting melatonin. Along with it, within an hour, your growth hormone starts coming out. What do these two hormones do? They repair you. So let us say spike protein has gone and affected some area of your body. The melatonin and sufficient amounts of melatonin will repair you. Now, what happens with melatonin is that we sit with our phones late in the night. We're sleeping with them in bed. We don't go to sleep before 12. The blue light of this affects your pineal gland. It doesn't allow enough melatonin to be released. We are watching TV till late in the evening. We are on our computers till late in the evening. So you don't get enough melatonin that's coming out. Now, if there is not enough melatonin coming out, you're not getting the repair mechanism. By 3 o'clock, your time for melatonin is over. You go to sleep at 1 o'clock, you don't get enough melatonin to repair you. Now, the second thing that we don't realize is that we also get melatonin from the sun during the day. Now, how we get that? We get it by the infrared rays that come on the ground from the sun, bounce on the grass, bounce on trees, and hit us. That increases what is called the subcellular melatonin. When you have subcellular melatonin, your energy levels automatically go up. Why? Because one of the things that melatonin does is it creates new mitochondria. it increases the DNA of the mitochondria, it starts creating new mitochondria, and it helps the mitochondria to give you more energy. Now, what is the problem with people who have, what did your mother have? She had high inflammation and she also had some amount of fatigue. So, melatonin is both anti-inflammatory and doesn't and helps you to come out of it. But more importantly, it helps your body to fight the spike protein. Taken together with niacin,
Nice.
which niacin, the flush variety. Most people don't like the flush, so we give the non-flush, but the flush is better. If you
Yeah.
take the flush variety together with melatonin, 20 minutes apart, 6 months, and everything is over. You
I
are back.
once gave niacin flush to my mother when I was putting her to the keto diet. And because she has fatty liver, she had fatty liver and she has gallbladder removed. And she came to Germany and I said, let's try keto diet. And she got all over itching. She got red. And then I gave her niacin. So, and put her a little bit to the sauna and then she was a little better. I remember, but niacin helps a lot. That was also done by Dr. Yu after the protocol of World Trade Center when the firefighters went inside. So he did this niacin protocol. So niacin in high doses, yes, it helps a lot. So
It
that
does.
is not, yeah. And why people have hair fall after corona or joint
That
pains?
that's because the spike. See, joint pains, I'll tell you, but the spike protein affects, like I said, the thyroid gland. So if it affects the thyroid gland and you become more hypothyroid and your thyroid medication stops working well, then you have a lot of hair fall. See, and why joint pains? Because both your parathyroid is affected and your calcium metabolism is affected. Now you need to understand something, Palak. Our body was made 70,000 years ago. Its genome hasn't changed. Now those good old days when we were hungry, we didn't have a kitchen. We didn't have a Swiggy to order food from, or we didn't have a supermarket to buy food from. We had to hunt. But when were we going for that hunt or to gather the food? When we were absolutely hungry. And so we had absolutely no knowledge of when we are going to get food. So we are going to be hungry for days. Now, our body was made in a particular manner to survive those days. So, what would happen when we were in that situation? The thyroid gland would make T4, but the T4, instead of converting into T3, would convert into reverse T3, which is inactive, but which also competes with T3 for the receptors. Now,
Receptors.
what would that do? The basal metabolic rate would come down. So the requirement for food would be less. And so you could survive, huge phases of hunger, of starvation. Now what happens? Now what happens when we get this spike protein or we get stressed out? The body's primitive brain is the same. It's thinking that this person is going for a hunt. He's under stress. It's not looking at the hunger, it's looking at the stress. So it converts your T3, T4 that you're taking into reverse T3. Over and above that, your thyroid gland is now dampened by the spike protein. Obviously, your thyroid levels are going to go down. Obviously, you're going to have more hair fall.
So should we fast or should we not fast then?
So you should fast, but for women, when they do fasting, they should never do fasting daily. So
Yes.
so what do I tell when I put my female patients on an intermittent fast? What do I tell them? I tell them one thing very simple. I say day one, 12-hour fast, day two, 14-hour fast, day three, 24-hour fast, day four, 16-hour fast, day five, 14-hour fast, day six, no fast, day seven, start your fast again. Somewhere in the middle, break it. So there is no continuity.
There's no
So the
continuity.
body then doesn't, and I always support people who start having hair fall with intermittent fasting. I support them with live source iodine coming from kelp or Lugol's iodine. I always do that.
Yeah, I was before talking to you only. I was doing research on this iodine deficiency. And guys, हमारे triple thyroid care में है जो doctor बोल रहे हैं. So there was this project by an American researcher to support Indian rural women. What they did was, in the glue of the bindi, they put iodine. You know
Yes,
that project?
I've heard that.
I was
I've
just
seen.
doing my research that how they are providing iodine to the pregnant women in rural areas because they cannot afford supplements. And this is such an interesting, I'm going to show it to my audience too. So they're going to put iodine in the bindi, and it is so important. But doctor, the problem with me with fasting is, or eating low calories than my maintenance calories. For example, here Germany, it's very cold, and I even start feeling colder. I mean, if I haven't eaten for 12 hours, I would shiver. I would go and take a very hot shower that will last for 15 minutes, and then I would start shivering again.
So
Uh,
I'll give you a
I,
suggestion. I'll just give you a suggestion, Pala. Try this out. The moment you have crossed 6 or 8 hours of a fast, have a nice black coffee with 3 tablespoons of your MCT oil. The MCT oil doesn't break your fast. Have it
okay,
every 2, 3 hours,
okay.
and you will not feel what you're feeling. Because what you need is high fat.
High fat, yes. Yes, I did that, and I will try it again tomorrow. And plus, guys, there is one protocol. मैं आप लोगों को कहती हूँ कि कॉफी या चाय के साथ take L-theanine या फिर our anxiety capsules. This protocol has been also given by Dr. Lenny. So, Dr. Lenny, can you tell people why should we take L-theanine या फिर our anxiety capsule? Why women should take that?
Okay, so I give it in 2 ways. Let's say somebody comes to me with real fatigue because of corona, post COVID. And I've had a lot of, let me tell you this, CEOs and women CEOs of various companies, big companies, coming to me saying, Doc, we can't work. We just
Mm,
can't work because it's too much of fatigue.
pretty.
So generally we think that it's adrenal fatigue. It is not adrenal fatigue. It is post-COVID fatigue. So I've done the testing for them. Their adrenals are working fine. So what do? I give them a cup of coffee at about 10 o'clock. Now that's the time they get to work. So what does the coffee do? The coffee kind of takes you up, takes your energy levels up. Why? Because it gives you a spurt of cortisol. So it takes your sweating up, and then you have a crash after 1 and 1.5 hours. So you can't work consistently. Now, if I add L-theanine with coffee, coffee goes up, L-theanine keeps it there. It
Yeah.
remains there till about 5:30 in the evening. By
Yes.
6:30, you come home, you're tired, and you go to sleep, you get great sleep.
I've been
Right?
taking my anxiety, trust me, doctor. Earlier, for me, it was I used to take my first cup of coffee at 4 o'clock with MCT or coconut oil. And then after 4 hours, I needed another cup of coffee. But since I started taking my anxiety capsule, now I can go till 12 o'clock. I just have to eat in between. Maybe I take a little bit of protein the days I'm doing sprinting, and my protein powder, which I've never sent you, has MCT powder.
Okay.
So it doesn't make me hungry. Generally, whey protein is designed to make you very hungry. But we have
Yes.
added MCT powder in the whey protein so that it gives, it doesn't make you very hungry and you feel satiated for 3 hours. So I can go till 12 hours with one protein shake and one coffee.
Awesome. Awesome. If you have L-theanine with coffee, it keeps you on for about 8 hours. No
Okay.
issues.
Really?
No issues.
So okay, I'm skipping the protein shake tomorrow. Let's see with
Try it out.
anxiety.
Try it out.
Yeah.
See, as long as you're not exercising, if you're exercising, you may need the protein shake.
Okay.
So you need to understand what you're doing. If you're exercising, you need the protein shake.
Okay. Yes, I get that. Yes. So 24 fast. Once I kept 24 hours fast and I was not able to sleep that night. How to get sleep? Should I take melatonin? Sleep well?
You should, but so what time was your meal?
My meal was 6 o'clock in the evening, and I slept pretty good. I had some good starches at the bedtime, and then next day I was not able to sleep. Like my sleep was really, the quality was really low.
So that was after you have done a 24-hour fast, or
Yeah.
was it on the day you did the 24-hour fast?
Uh, After 24 hour. No, the day I did 24-hour fast.
So that means you ate at 6 o'clock and you couldn't sleep.
No, no, no. I started at 6 o'clock till next 6 o'clock was okay, and then after that, yeah, it was after. Sorry.
So on the day you finished the fast, you were okay. It was the
Yeah,
following day.
yeah, the
All right.
following day.
So what has happened is, for once, okay. So let me explain to you what the fasting does. The moment you cross 12 hours of fasting, you start a process called autophagy.
Yes.
Now, what is autophagy? Autophagy is your own body eating up parts of the cell and other
That.
parts which are not functioning properly. So it's like spring cleaning your own body. Now, when you do a 24-hour fast, you are in full autophagy. You are completely in autophagy. So it is like your body is going through a whole process. Now, if you have done a 24-hour fast and you have not eaten properly after that, that one meal, many people take 1 hour to finish, but they eat for that 1 hour, right?
Mm,
There's one person who eats for 2 hours
mm,
and they do all their exercises at other times, but they're working perfectly. If you don't do that on the next day, you are in survival mode. You're in
mm,
survival mode because the body is now thinking you're going on another 24-hour fast. So the
mm,
day you finish the 24-hour fast, on your next day, if you want to get a sleep and if you're not used to a 24-hour fast, especially for women, on the next day, they should do a 14-hour or a 16-hour fast, not more,
mm.
or even a
Got it.
12-hour fast. And that breaks the cycle, and so you can sleep well that night.
Got it.
And if you don't, then please use melatonin because melatonin. So, okay, so there's another thing. Melatonin used with L-theanine at night can give you great sleep without a hangover.
Yeah, I give it to my papa. You only told me. So we give
Yes.
this anxiety capsule with melatonin to my dad. Yes,
At
yes.
night, it works beautifully for sleep. In the
Yeah.
morning, it keeps you awake right through the day if you take it with coffee.
Okay, so can I take two times in the morning with the coffee and in the evening?
Absolutely. What is L-theanine?
Amino
It's a green
acids,
tea.
yes.
It's a green tea extract. Nothing wrong with it. If your body doesn't use it, it'll throw it out.
Mm, got it, got it. Yeah, these days for L-theanine, I sometimes replace my coffee with matcha tea. So we have made, and I'm sending you, I'm promise after this show, I'm sending you. So it's a matcha tea with MCT powder.
Okay.
And we have made a blend and you have to taste it, and definitely after the show, because Dr. Nanda was
Please.
also yeah, Dr. Nanda was also complaining, Palak, I heard you had this matcha tea and you're not sending it. Definitely I'm
I'd
sending.
love to see it. Love to try it out as well.
When are you getting back to Goa again?
I'm back to go on Wednesday.
Okay,
I'm on a
then make
short
sure.
break from tomorrow to Tuesday morning.
Okay.
So tomorrow and Tuesday, tomorrow I finish a session here and then I take off to Bombay. I have a family get together in Bombay on Monday, and then Tuesday I'm back at work in Bombay, and then I'm back to Goa on Wednesday.
Okay, so somebody asked me, Palak, can I take anxiety capsule with milk? Yeah, milk helps you sleep at night. Also, it has something. I don't
So,
remember now. So what?
so I am one person who does tell my patients, don't take milk.
Yeah, I'm the same. I don't tell people to take milk, but she's asking, can we club together? I think she drinks milk, so I said yes, you can.
So she should wants to drink milk. She should have milk, either an almond milk or coconut milk. Avoid dairy and avoid soy. Now, why am I saying this? Let's say you want to use L-theanine for sleeping. If you are going to only increase your uh, inflammation within the body, why am I
Yeah,
saying
then dairy.
casein of the milk does not
Mm.
digest in your gut and it increases your inflammation. Now, if you
Yes.
increase your inflammation, your body is not really going to sleep well.
Hmm.
It's really not going to sleep well. So you're wasting the L-theanine, you're wasting the melatonin, you're just wasting it. It's like, having fire in your house. You're taking a matchstick and lighting it, and then running to the bathroom to get water to put it off, and then lighting it again, and then going. I mean, it's being stupid, right? Uh, you don't do those things if you really want the inflammation out of your body.
Yeah, I do run here every second day to a dairy, and we get fresh raw milk for my daughter. And now and then I have it too, and yeah, it works pretty okay for us. It's like full fat; it has so much of fat in it. I know we shouldn't be. It's okay also without milk, but I have like even the cows are fed like they are free to move, and I know it still has season, but we take, me and my daughter, especially my daughter, she takes sometimes this raw milk. It's not from the cows who have hormones. Is it okay or should I stop that?
So it depends what her age is.
6.
So at 6, the milk is only going to get rid of her teeth.
Hmm.
Okay,
So,
and
so
and
should I
so you
stop
need to keep
completely?
and so you need to keep a check on if she's got any allergies. If she's got any allergies, don't give her milk.
No, she's
If
not. She doesn't. She's
if
perfectly
she doesn't
healthy.
have any allergies, you don't have to worry. Up to the
Yeah.
age of 12, 13, 14, you don't have to worry. I would so I am very, very clear. If you want to give milk, use A2 cow milk. See, Palak, you come from North India, so you guys can't do without milk. But my question to people who drink milk is,
You come
tell
from.
me which animal drinks milk of another animal. The
Yeah,
cow
I
doesn't
can.
drink its own
I,
milk.
I totally understand that. Actually, I was reading this study. There are 5,000 mammal species on the planet, and the only species which drink milk is humans, and the only species which get osteoporosis is animal is
Precisely.
us.
Precisely, you hit the nail on the head. I have in my book that is coming out this month. Is your doctor keeping you sick? I have a book that I've written. Is your doctor keeping you sick? It should be up on Amazon by the end of this month or early next month. I have written it very clearly
Oh my.
how milk causes osteoporosis. It's not the other way around. It doesn't help osteoporosis. And why it causes, with all the studies that have been mentioned, I've put down a
I
very
have
a
also a
great
lot of studies on milk. Lot.
milk.
I've been telling
So,
people leave milk, leave milk.
so
But
why would you
yes,
want to give milk? So ideally, a child can possibly have it, but you see, if you ask a dentist, the dentist will tell you milk has no benefit for the child. A pediatrician will tell you the milk has no benefit for the child. So, what are you giving it for, basically? They say protein, but the protein in milk doesn't digest in the
no,
gut.
calcium. They say calcium, parental
Calcium, it
calcium.
leaches calcium. My dear, it takes the calcium from you. It doesn't give you calcium. That's why you have osteoporosis because of milk drinking. So you should not be giving milk to elderly. You should not be giving it to kids. But people do it. And so if you are forced to give it, I say take at least the A2 cow. Why A2 cow? Because
Hum.
no cow can give milk, which is something like 24 or 30 liters. A cow is supposed to give 4 liters of milk.
Yeah.
An A2 cow or an Indian traditional cow will give you 4 liters of milk or 5 liters of milk. That milk is a little safer than this one. But I still say, why drink milk of another animal?
So, what about curd? People are asking.
So, curd, again, of dairy, I wouldn't want to give. I personally have uh, kefir or kefir, if you want to call it, using kefir seeds. I do it every night. At times, I use milk. At times, I use coconut milk or almond milk. It has not affected me. Milk affects me very badly. I can eat all the ice creams in the world, but the moment I touch Amul ice cream, I have diarrhea because Amul has milk in it. All other ice creams don't have milk in it. They have got fats, trans fats, commercial oils in them, vegetable oils in it, all right? So, but kefir has taken care of my gut. I never had gut problems, but I just made my gut go better. I don't feel, I've not felt bloated maybe in about 2 years now, irrespective of what I eat or what I do.
Same
I
here.
don't eat. I
I
don't
can
eat.
eat anything and I would never ever bloat. No. Same.
I wouldn't be able to eat wheat at one point in time. Today, if I eat a roti occasionally, I don't eat wheat generally. But if I eat a roti occasionally, I don't feel what I used to feel earlier. Why is that? Because when you actually have freshly
Hmm.
fermented and properly fermented stuff, it's good. Now, what happens with curd is that we use the wrong milk to do the curds, and that curd sometimes is not fully curdled. So the protein is not fully gone. So homemade ghee from cow milk, please have it. It's the best. It
Hmm.
takes care of your gut. Homemade ghee is the best. Why I'm saying homemade ghee is the best? Because casein is totally denatured. It's destroyed. There's no casein in your milk anymore. In the fat anymore, in the ghee anymore. So what's going in is not your milk protein. And so you're absolutely okay doing that. But the moment you don't do that curd properly, you're letting that casein get in. Now, please understand this, Palak. It's not that you are allergic to milk. I'm not talking about lactose intolerance. I'm not talking about celiac disease. I'm talking about casein intolerance. So you have milk today, and it will affect you 10 days down the line. And you don't even know that. You don't even know that. I've got patients who come and tell me, but doc, I don't have milk because you said so. I don't have wheat because you said so. So I say, okay, 10 days ago, were you for a party? I said, yes. 7 days ago, I was there for a party. So what did you eat? And then I have to dissect them and say, hey, 7 days back, what you did is affecting your gut today. People don't realize this. But the reaction is an IgG mediated reaction. It's an immune reaction which is mediated by the IgG or IgM, one of the two. It happens 5 days, 8 days, 10 days down the line. And you see it only then, and you don't connect it to what you have eaten earlier.
How about cheese? Same story.
So you can eat soft cheeses. I don't have a problem. But I would put you off the milk diet for about 3 months before I allow you to have cheese. So you need to have the goat cheese. You have to have the soft cheeses, not the processed cheeses.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, I also think it sometimes depends upon your gut bacteria too. For example, in Europe, the French people, they eat cheese in every meal, the French cheese.
They
And
always eat soft cheeses, Palak, always soft. See, the French diet is the best diet if you want to have it. High fat, good amount
yeah,
of veggies,
yeah.
low, very low carbs,
Hmm.
and good amount of protein.
Right.
And if you look at the way they eat their veggies, this is something that we don't know. My question to you, which came first, humans or plants?
Humans.
Plants came before us, much before us,
Okay.
500 million years before us. Are
Okay.
plants living organisms or not?
Yes.
You have a defense mechanism to protect you.
Yeah.
Don't you think the plant has a defense mechanism
Yeah,
to
yeah,
protect
lectins.
you?
Lectins.
Exactly. What are we
Lectins.
doing with lectins?
We are
Nothing.
cooking them and soaking them.
Exactly. But then you have things like tomatoes that you eat.
Yeah.
And we
Nightshades.
forgot, and we have nightshades. And we forgot the way we used to do it in India. We used to do the bartha. You remember the bartha? They used to burn the skin. The lectins were in that skin.
I'm doing the same. I'm doing the same.
Okay.
I'm
But
throwing the
today
seeds
with
away.
modern cooking, you saute them and you eat the lectins, and the lectins are only going to harm you. They're meant to harm you.
Yeah.
We don't understand these things.
Yeah, yeah. No, no. I'm very careful with my vegetables. Very careful because The only time I would get a bloating, only time if they are not cooked properly. And my kid, generally we don't fart, but yeah, even my small daughter, if the lentils and these are not soaked properly overnight, and then this farting can, and I know all about this defense mechanism, this light lectins and this phytates. I know this all. Yes.
So there are a whole lot of them. And the worst is when they release zonulin.
Mm-hmm. The
Wheat lectin releases zonulin.
yeah.
There is no other study done about any other plant and zonulin, but all lectins release zonulin. All right.
Mm.
So if you go to plant biology, you get this information. In modern cell biology, it's not there. So when you do, when that zonulin enters your gut,
That
it
yeah.
opens up the gut. So you have a leaky gut. And so then what happens? You have this undigested food getting into your bloodstream. You get these toxins getting into your bloodstream. And then sitting on the other side of the gut is your immune system. And
Hmm.
those guys come out with all their guns blazing. That's when you get your autoimmune disorders. People are not realizing this. This is exactly what the spike protein did for people where their guts were affected. The autoimmune diseases are going up. I'm seeing autoimmune disease every day. It's bread and butter for me today. Earlier it used to be cardiac, but today it is autoimmune and cancer.
Oh
Every
yeah,
day.
I have
I'm
a
sorry
big
to say this.
community of autoimmune
I'm
people.
really sorry to say this, but it is happening. And I tell my patients, I said the only way you can do it is if you control all that you do with your lifestyle
Yes, yes,
and you
yes.
add the proper nutrition to yourself and you sleep on time and you work out every day. You don't do these things, you're not going to be able to, recover from all of this.
Yeah, I am not so guilty giving my daughter milk, because what I do is I take raw milk and I heat it like a little bit so that all the good bacteria do not die. Then I add little bit of colostrum. We have liposomal colostrum. Then I add raw honey in it. Then I add a little bit of protein powder in it. And then I give her this raw milk,
Yeah, so if it doesn't affect her, you can keep giving her. But I
till
would suggest,
14.
yeah, I would suggest the moment she starts getting her menses, you have to stop it.
How milk and menses are related?
So when you start getting your hormones, that's when if the milk is causing inflammation, as long as it's a child, the child's body is very good at adapting to it and getting rid of it. As you go older, what is going to happen is it's going to decide how your hormones are going to play for the rest of your life. So the chances are that the adrenals will be overused the moment she starts getting her menses. Why? Because the DHEA and cortisol will come into fore when she starts getting inflammation. Now that's not the case. Now her adrenals can go at any level, it's not going to get exhausted. But her her timeline of her adrenal lifespan starts when she starts getting her menses. That's when the woman's entire hormone system comes into its adulthood. That is when your clock starts ticking, and so you need to know how to balance it. Then you don't want any food at that time that will kind of create long term implications on the child's long term health. You don't know how it's going to show, you know so I always say you want to get your child off all inflammatory foods, even if nothing is affecting them. Get them off by the age of 11, 12, 13, and in some cases, in the case of girls, even earlier when they get their menses. This is specific to people who have childhood obesity. This is very, very important for people who have childhood obesity. But generally, if you want to have your child live a healthy life till late adulthood, this is ideal that you do this.
Got it.
Anything, whether it's wheat, milk, any food that will harm the immune system, you need to get it out of your body.
Okay, great. So people who are having this post-COVID inflammations, they even do not know. What do you recommend in supplements and diet? I know supplements, I say, because they kind of speed up everything in the recovery. So some people said they took turmeric, we have this curcumin capsules. Do they really help, or it's kind of placebo?
No, no. So let me explain this to you as far as curcumin is concerned. So there was a study done in South India where they realized that people who ate sambar, they can do sambar in Tamil Nadu, sambar with their rice, those people didn't have very high incidence of colon cancer as against people from North India who had a higher incidence of colon cancer. So they zeroed it down to turmeric in in the sambar, and the active ingredient of turmeric is curcumin. Now, curcumin is a COX-2 inhibitor. COX-2 inhibitors are the best anti-inflammatories that you can take.
That's why.
Vioxx Vioxx is a COX-2 inhibitor.
Mm.
Turmeric or curcumin in turmeric is a COX-2 inhibitor. Now, the problem with curcumin is that it does not get absorbed in the human body unless from the human gut, unless it is tagged to an oligosaccharide or to a carbon molecule of a sugar.
Yeah.
So when you put that sambar on the rice, rice is sugar. So that's how it gets absorbed. Whereas when you take plain turmeric powder, it doesn't get absorbed. Or if you take curcumin without adding bioperine or piperine, I'm sure you've added that to your preparation.
No,
Without,
ours is patented, so this has a
so you
special
wouldn't
technique.
want to talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So you could use it as long as it gets absorbed. It is the best anti-inflammatory. If you ask me, all my patients with osteoarthritis, with any bone joint issues, with any kind of inflammation, and all my cancer patients are on curcumin supplements. I give them either curcumin, which is tagged with a pepperin, which goes in. I give them nano curcumin, which is water dissoluble, so it gets through. And I also give them at times the pepperin that you have, because people can use that to reduce inflammation. Now,
okay.
the cancer patients have the highest amount of inflammation. If I can bring that inflammation down with curcumin, can you imagine how good an inflammatory agent it is? It's one of the best. So for
Yeah.
inflammation, curcumin is the best. For COVID patients who have got inflammation or post-COVID issues, and they show it in their markers, their CRP levels are high. Their other, let's say they've got high ferritin levels. Every one of them is given curcumin. Now, you guys don't know what curcumin does besides being an anti-inflammatory. Curcumin also is a chelator of iron. So it
Mm.
helps to bring ferritin down, which most people don't know.
Mm.
And so I
Then
use it
especially for the men and for the women
absolutely,
after menopause, it's very important, because I
absolutely.
always tell men to give their blood once in a year or two times in a year, so that because ferritin at little low levels maybe is not so dangerous, but high level it's so toxic to the liver. So yeah, I even tell my father
Now
that
it
don't
happens
give
with
it.
everyone who's taken a vaccine.
Oh.
Everyone who has taken a vaccine has got high ferritin. So
So
you want to
guys,
get rid of
take curcumin. Everybody who has taken vaccination, जाओ खून दे के आओ, जाओ वो लो आपके ferritins level high हुए हैं. Yeah, great. So great. And yes, so are there any questions for the doctor? So guys, post corona, so when do we see our, like, either vaccination or corona, when can we inside us, when our biomarkers would be normal, in 2 years, in 1 year?
so that's a question that we still don't know, because even the most recent study that we are looking at has shown the crown protein in patients who had corona in the very first wave in
Oh, 2 years.
June of 2020. It's
Hmm.
still there. We are 2.5 years. It's still there. How much it affects you after a year would be, you know, how well you have been able to adapt to it. So the way I look at it is, I believe COVID-19 was a wake-up call for mankind to understand their bodies and to understand that they need to revise and relook at the way they live their life and what they eat. It is
Yes.
so, so important that we need to understand this one fact, because during the lockdown, it got you closer to your family members, which you were never seeing for the whole week at times. It got you to sit down and eat food that is freshly cooked at home and not
Yes.
from a supermarket. It
Yes.
got you to understand that you can do things at home that help you live a more comfortable and a more fuller life. And if you understand that and if you like that, then you need to understand that if you have taken the COVID vaccine or you've got COVID, and if the spike protein is in you, the only way to get out of it is to be outdoors. Get the
Hmm.
melatonin coming in. Do your exercise regularly. Sleep on time so that you get the pineal gland giving you melatonin. Because
Hmm.
melatonin is the one that's going to make you all right. Eat your supplements with your B complex and everything else. Eat the foods that are good for you. Keep away from the grains, because mankind's misery started when we started farming. Before 10,000 years, we did not have cancer or diabetes or anything. It's only after we started farming that we started seeing people suffer from chronic degenerative disorders. So, unless you understand this and change your lifestyle and take COVID as a lesson for you to live a better, a more fuller life, you're not going to be able to take care of your health, irrespective of what you do.
You're so right. So right. So I won't want to kill your melatonin levels, but doctor, what I can suggest you, on my laptop screen, there is another, on the screen, there is blue light blocker protective glass. Maybe if you, because today when I sent you the request, you told me, Palak, I get so many requests to be on live shows. So maybe you can put that, just a tip from my side. And or if you have app, it's, this app is called, it's free of cost for your laptop, it's called Flux. What Flux does is it makes your screen orange and as the sun goes down. So
Wow.
yeah, so
Very, very
install.
nice. I'm so happy these things are available.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, free of
I
cost. The
I just, and I'm going to suggest this to my patients, but for me, I don't take a chance. I take 10 milligrams of melatonin every day, not
yeah.
because I don't get sleep, but I just want more
No,
melatonin.
I think everybody, even I'm giving melatonin 5 mg to mother and father both, because you also recommended. Even they sleep very well, they exercise very well. I still give them because
Yeah, you need
it
to give it.
depends. Yeah. So guys, melatonin हमारे sleep well capsule में है, आप ले सकते हो 5 mg. So it is a very, very important supplement, as doctor told. And yeah, so install that Flux app, very, very useful. And I really thought when I'm gonna meet you today, you're gonna be wearing your blue light blocker glasses or something.
I don't. I'm traveling, and what happens is most of my patients in the US, they call me at this time because it's day for them there, right?
Yeah.
But I don't take any calls after 9:30. Yours was the only one that I've taken at 9. Otherwise, my last call is at 8:30, and that's it. Because I want those 2 hours before I go to sleep, before 10:30. I don't want to be on a screen constantly. I look at
Yeah.
my WhatsApp and finish fast, but it's for 5 or 10 minutes. I've done it that way, and I get up very early in the morning and I take up those calls from the US clients then, because for them it's evening by the time I get
Yeah.
up. So I can do that early morning. And so I'll end up in my clinic, whether it's here in Goa or if it's in Bombay. Either way, I'll end up only after 11 o'clock because early morning I'm consulting.
तो गाइज, अगर आपको डायबिटीज, थायराइड, कैंसर, कोई भी बीमारी है, ऑटोइम्यून, एंड अगर आपको पूरा प्रोटोकॉल चाहिए, यू कैन कॉन्टैक्ट डॉक्टर लेनी. ही हिज क्लिनिक इज इन गोवा, right, doctor? So what would be
As,
your...
as well as Bombay. We have a good clinic in Bombay as well.
Okay, so Mumbai and Goa, very good news for our Mumbai patients or viewers. So how do they contact you?
Oh, it's very simple. If they go to drlennydacosta.com, there are phone numbers of both the clinics available.
Okay, Dr. Lenny, Lenny Dacosta. Dr.
Yeah, so
Lenny.
it's DRLENNYDACUSTA.com.
.com. So guys, there you can book consultation. But if you get too many consultations, don't ever delay my consultation, please.
No, no, I don't. I don't. Don't worry about that. I don't. So
Yeah.
we do online consultations and we have in-clinic consultations both in Goa and Mumbai. Uh, don't book an online appointment from there. Just call the phone number. That's better. Because the app that is still there, we are not in a position to remove it out. It's an old app that I don't use anymore because I've got much better apps that are available for
Yeah.
this.
So, and when are you planning to take consultations? How many years more?
I don't know, as long as I feel the that am required. See, for me, this is a service. I'm not very old. I'm very, very young. But the day I don't enjoy it, or the day I feel there is somebody who's doing a better job than me, I will retire. Otherwise, there's no plan for that.
Oh, you just banged all functional doctors. You better do your job right, otherwise I keep doing it. So I am coming
Absolutely.
to Goa. I am gonna spend very soon a month with you. I want every single knowledge in your brain, in my brain somehow.
Please do
And
come. Please do come.
yeah, and
We
Dr.
have
Leni,
we have
we're
got.
gonna.
By the way, I'm very open with my work that I do. I've got special courses on another website called drlenny.co. Uh,
Oh,
those are live courses that we do every month for doctors and health coaches, and we've got them recorded. It's available on www.drlenin.hub.drlenin.live. That on that you get recorded. I've got about 8 courses. Anyone
wow.
who goes through them will be able to help themselves. But it's mainly for doctors because there's a lot of medical knowledge also given so that they can treat their patients the way I treat my patients.
Wow, wow. So I will ask Dr. Pallavi to give me the full details because I'm
Yes,
interested in this course definitely.
please look at it because recently I've had about we were not selling too much of recorded stuff, but we did a Black Friday sale just because I wanted more doctors to actually go through what we had done. And we had a huge number, not so much from India, but from all over Southeast Asia.
Awesome. Great. Great, doctor.
Yeah.
Great. So thank you so much today for coming to the show.
Hey,
And
pleasure, Palak,
of,
pleasure.
of all the doctors I have known in my life, trust me, I never had like the connection you build up and the service you are doing. I still know your WhatsApp message. So if you see his WhatsApp picture, it's his father's picture, and there it is written कि आपको सारी जिंदगी एक कैंडल बन के रहना है और विंड को अपने ऊपर लेना है एंड दूसरों को सिर्फ रोशनी देनी है. So that's what is written on his WhatsApp message. And can you tell something, last two lines, something about your
Yeah,
dad?
so my dad was an inspiration to me. He only told me one thing. He said, Lenny, listen, your patient is your patient. He's not your customer. And whatever happens, finally, it's not about you, it's about him. So, whatever you do, you are doing it for your patient. And that's the way I've lived my life. Doesn't matter what I say, what I do, it is important that my patient benefits. So, if I have to change my dogma, I will. If I have to go and ask somebody and say, I don't know, I will. Because that's the humility. Not everybody knows everything, and
Right.
that's the only way you get success. So I if my patient tells me, hey, this is a problem, doc, we have come to you for a solution, I don't have all the solutions sometimes, but I never leave my patient with that. I always look at, hey, listen, I don't know it, but can I find out? I find out and
Right.
get back to you. So that is what
Right.
my father taught me, and I think it has stood me in good stead because at the end of the day, my biggest satisfaction is seeing my patient happy, healthy, and living a normal life despite the disease. Despite
Yeah.
the disease. Because as a doctor, I am not called to heal, I'm called to treat you well. It's his
Mhm.
job out there to heal you. I am going to do my job to the best of my ability. That's
Right.
my promise. And before I end, Palak, I must say that your mission in life is awesome as well.
Thank you,
The
doctor.
work that you're doing is so good, so great. Some
Yeah.
of those supplements, they were godsend to me and my patients because I didn't have them. And then suddenly you appear on the scene from nowhere and you said, "You've got this, you've got this, you've got this." And we've been using it, and it's easily available on Amazon. So I'm so grateful to you for making it available. So thank
I'm
you.
sorry not making this constant available to you. And trust me, we are working
But
on the
it's
back
okay.
end.
The patients get it. I'm so very happy. And my patients are from all over the country. So it becomes so easy when I give them your website, or I'd say go to Amazon, you'll get it over there, and they get those, and they're very happy with it. So that's where I
Thank
say thank you to you as well, because some of those supplements are so well thought out and so beautifully put together that they
thank you.
help my patients because they don't have to take five more pills. A combination
Yeah,
of
this was
that.
exactly the reason why I started the company. When I
So
started this, this
yeah,
was exactly the reason. They don't have to take 5 pills. Yeah.
yeah. So it's so nice, and it has helped a lot of my patients. It helps me, helps my wife. We use quite a few of those. So
Oh,
yes,
thank
thank you for doing what you do.
thank you,
And
Dr.
keep
Lenny.
doing what you're doing.
Thank you. Have a great evening. And I'll
Yeah,
see you
you
in
too.
Goa or Mumbai very soon.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and to
Thank
all your viewers and participants. I wish them very good life, a healthy life, and a great future. Thank you, and God bless.
thank you, Dr. Lenny. Thank you so much. So, So guys, I hope you liked it. आप लोगों को अच्छा लगा होगा. Unfortunately, इतने लोग नहीं आ रहे हैं. I don't know why, because अगर आप डॉक्टर लेनी से अपॉइंटमेंट लेने की कोशिश करोगे और पूरा प्रॉपर ट्रीटमेंट लेने की कोशिश करोगे, इतने आंसर्स लेने की कोशिश करोगे, it has to be expensive stuff. And because of the repetition of my supplements in Functional Doctors Association all over the world, I somehow get the appointments and get them into the show. उनका गला खराब था, फिर भी वो बोल रहे थे, he's a very noble soul. He's the one of the best soul. अगर मैं अपनी जिंदगी में top 3 souls का नाम लूं जिनसे मैं मिली हूँ, and one of them is Dr. Lenny. He's also my mentor. And yes, guys. So guys, हम लोगों ने क्या सीखा? दूध आप बच्चे को 14 years की एज तक दे सकते हो, बट कोशिश करो रॉ मिल्क दो. एंड नहीं भी दोगे, that's okay. एंड आलमंड मिल्क दे सकते हो, कर्ड यस दे सकते हो. मैंने इसलिए नहीं पूछा, ऑल्दो नीचे मुझे कमेंट दिख रहा था, क्योंकि मुझे पता है कि घर की बनी कर्ड आप दे सकते हो. ओके. एंड डॉक्टर का क्या है, डॉक्टर भी मुझे सुन रहे हैं अभी. डॉक्टर के पास जो केसेस आते हैं वो बहुत बीमार लोगों के होते हैं, तो उनका जो आंसर भी है वो उसी के रिलेटेड होगा गाइस. तो इसीलिए हम लोग अगर अपनी लाइफ को, अपने बच्चे की डाइट को इतना ज्यादा स्ट्रिक्ट कर देंगे, देन वी डोंट हैव फूड्स टू ऑफर, सो या कर्ड यू कैन गिव, नॉट एवरी डे. 1-2 दिन, मतलब दिन में एक बार या 2 दिन में एक बार यू कैन गिव. एंड येस, मेलाटोनिन हार्मोन इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. शायद सबके लिए, अपने माँ बाप को तो मेलाटोनिन हार्मोन पे डाल ही दो. कॉफी विद L-theanine gives you, जो मुझे पता चला है, कॉफी विद MCT oil or MCT powder, it gives you not chills when you are fasting. Okay guys, have a great day, and do share it, please guys, do share it. Have a great evening. Bye bye.